give us plenty of time for questions thereafter. And we'll start Mr. Brian Toller, Georgia Urban Ag Council. Sorry about that, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everybody. Good to be with you all, and thank you, Chairman Dickey, for your leadership on this issue. It's a very important issue, as has already been discussed here. I'm Brian Toller here representing the Georgia Urban Ag Council today, and our membership represents turfgrass, nursery, landscape, and all the components that go into those particular sectors. So that is my frame of mind as I look at this issue. It doesn't deal directly with CAFO-related matters, which I know has also been a focus. I'll start on the onset. I want to say that our first priority is do no harm. We have a statute, and it has served Georgia well. We know it needs to be adjusted. We recognize that. We want to make sure, as in the past we've seen these discussions, there's been amendments in the process that have actually taken Georgia's right to farm, or freedom to farm as we're calling it now, and it's been a step backward. And we need to make sure that we don't go backward. I know that certainly is the chairman's objective. I do not have a copy of the new bill, but I don't need it right now. I want to reference one particular component, and that is the definition of an agricultural operation that is in your bill. It was previously on page 2, line 41. It may still be on that particular section. I'm not sure. But what we're requesting in that is that particular section has a lot of definitions, components of what is an agricultural operation: tillage, fertilizer, pesticide applications, and all that. And in reviewing this, there's a couple of components that we do hear complaints about in the ag sector that are not covered, and we would like the committee to consider adding these components. And it's really 3 pieces. One is dust. A lot of farm operations, especially those in sod operations, when that sod is harvested, you have a dusty open field. And so it's not just dust. You can certainly do it with peanut combine. I mean, there's a ton of dust with peanuts. But as we continue to get closer with agriculture and urban development, those can be issues. And so I would encourage the committee to take a look at adding dust. Another component is noise. Noise can be measured, the decibel level. Sometimes odor is subjective, noise is not subjective. Some people's hearing is better than others, but it is measurable. And so we think noise is an issue as well. Last but not least, I know we have our forestry friends here, and this is the big issue for them. It's also an issue for Chairman Dickey in his operation, but smoke. When we're doing controlled burns, you're doing issues where you're pushing up, it could be pecan trees, it could be certainly peach trees, and those are burned to remove them. And so that could be a component. So I would encourage the committee to take a look at smoke, dust, and noise as to add in that agricultural operation definition. Last but not least, I want to throw one piece in, and this is an issue of science. Agriculture is an industry of science. We've seen it develop over the years, especially the last decade. It has changed tremendously. I would say probably the last 2 decades. And when our industry that I serve in turfgrass, the University of Georgia worked with USDA and received some grant funds to develop a drought-tolerant turfgrass to use less water. That is science. It was bred grass. It comes out of the University of Georgia down in the Tifton facility, and it's called TifTuf. And there are other grasses that are coming on the market to help save water. We all know how important that is. There are issues that same application can be used to help reduce issues related to odor, as well as other farm practices. And so I would encourage that the issue of science is important. We know it, we see it every day. And if we can continue to use science to help curb some of these other nuisance-related matters, then we'll all be better off for the future. Just as Representative Ricky has said earlier, we need to look way down the road and believe science is an answer to that. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it so much.